Daddy, I heard a noise.
A heat wave breeds crimes of violence like an incubator. After the third straight day of 90-degree weather, Homicide called on us for assistance. While sleeping in a hammock in his backyard, a man had been murdered by a mysterious explosion. It could be a grudge killing triggered by the hot spell, or it could be the beginning of a gang war. If it was the latter, we had to find out, and fast. My name is Frank Ballinger, Detective Lieutenant, M Squad, a special detail of the Chicago Police.
Hi, Frank. Name's George Haskell. Does it mean anything to you?
No.
Laura and I was running a check.
Anybody in the house when it happened?
Yeah, his daughter Barbara, age 12. She was up in that window when it went off.
Where is she now?
I got her over there with a policewoman. She's pretty badly shaken up. Oh, what do you make of this?
Grenade fragments.
Mm-hmm. Wasn't a bomb at all.
Hand grenade, government issue.
Barbara said she heard a sound like something hitting the side of a garbage can just before the explosion.
Well, maybe you kicked the can over and then stepped in that stuff and heaved the grenade from here, huh?
Yeah, it could be.
Can I talk to the girl now?
Yeah, I've already talked to her. Go ahead.
Barbara? I'm Lieutenant Ballinger, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, but you don't have to talk if you don't feel like it.
It's my fault he died. Really, it's my fault.
It's your fault. Why do you say that?
If it hadn't been for me, he'd still be alive. We were supposed to leave for California this week. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
He wanted to go by train, but I wanted to fly. I've never been on a plane.
Yes, I see.
So we changed the tickets. We were supposed to leave the day after tomorrow. He hadn't listened to me. He did everything I ever wanted. Has anybody told my mother?
Oh, I don't know. Isn't she here with you?
Oh, no. They were divorced over a year ago.
And you just stay with your father, is that it?
6 months with my father and 6 months with my mother. The 6 months with my father just started this week.
Where does your mother live?
The Loreno Apartments on Berry Street.
All right, thank you, Barbara. Why don't you go in the house and try to get some rest?
Why do people get divorced, Lieutenant? Maybe if my mother was here, this wouldn't have happened.
Maybe.
He was the best daddy there ever was. He did everything for me.
He was a nothing. I don't know why anybody would want to kill him.
That's what we're trying to find out. I mean, couldn't your ex-husband have had some business rivals that were his enemies, or possibly some lady friend who had a boyfriend who was jealous?
I doubt it, not George. I mean, no one ever took him seriously enough to even get mad at him.
Well, somebody got mad at him tonight. And you must have been mad at him when you divorced him.
Not mad, Lieutenant, just fed up. Actually, I divorced him for Barbie's sake.
You what?
Well, he didn't have enough spunk to make a decent living, and I wanted Barbie to have everything out of life she deserved. And believe me, her father could have never given her this. I don't know what I'm standing here talking to you for when I want to get to her.
Where were you tonight, Mrs. Haskell?
Where was I? What do you mean, where was I? You don't think that
I said, where were you tonight, Mrs. Haskell?
I was at work.
At work where?
At the Exeter Theater. I'm a relief cashier.
And what time did you go to work?
At about 7, and I was in the box office to about 11.
Those are pretty short hours, aren't they?
I have a day job as a waitress, and I realize they're not such highfalutin jobs, but they're the best I can get without a lot of experience. I'd like to show them that I can take just as good of care of her as they can.
As they can? You mean your ex-husband?
Make no mistake, Lieutenant, I stopped loving George a long time ago. He was too weak and spineless for me to respect, even though he was Barbie's father, but I didn't hate him enough to,
Enough to kill him.
I'll tell you something else. If I ever come face to face with the person who put Barbie's life in danger, I'll kill him, Lieutenant, with no regrets. I'll kill him. Now, I'm going to get dressed and go see my daughter.
These medals for being weak and spineless.
That's not George, that's Harry Lorman.
Oh, a friend of yours?
You might say. I've been seeing him for, the past 6 months.
You see him regularly?
Mm-hmm. He's a real man, Lieutenant, and it's nice for a change.
Is Harry still in the Marine Corps?
Why?
One of the first things they teach you in the Marine Corps is how to throw a hand grenade.
Sure, that's me. And all those pictures. Of course, I've put on a few pounds since then.
Seen a lot of combat, huh?
Yeah, every campaign the First Marines are in. Hungnam, Chusan Reservoir, Incheon. Now, that was a rough one.
George Haskell is dead.
Yeah, that's what you told me. Well, what am I supposed to do?
You didn't like him?
Like him? I didn't even know the guy. Only what Lola told me. He sounded like a first-class schmo. What's all this got to do with me, anyway?
He was murdered with a hand grenade, just like the one you're wearing in that picture.
So it's a coincidence. I'm wearing grenades in the picture.
I want some straight answers, and I want to know.
Go on, ask me.
Where you been tonight?
Right here, working.
When to when?
From 7:30 until you barged in.
You didn't take a break for dinner?
Well, yeah, I got an hour off for dinner.
Did you eat here or what?
Nope. Corner drugstore.
Why the corner drugstore?
I like to be waited on. Is that a crime?
Somebody down there can alibi for you?
Alibi, schmalibi. I don't need an alibi, and you know it.
I think you do, Harry. With that mud on your shoe.
Mud?
That ought to be enough for comparison test, Mel. Hey, pretty good fit, huh?
What are you trying to do? That print's at least 2 sizes bigger than my shoe.
Yeah, but if you were moving fast, it would normally enlarge the size of the print. All right, hurry up with the lab report now. Well, do we wait for the lab report or you want to talk now?
I've told you 20 times. I get mud on my shoes almost every day. I take this shortcut through this lot they've recently dug up.
Okay, we wait.
Well, what can you prove by analyzing it? Mud is mud.
No, mud has its own individual characteristics. And if the mud on your shoe matches the mud in Haskell's backyard, you're our boy.
I want to talk to a lawyer.
Your privilege. Keep an eye on him, will you, Charles?
Maybe you forgot about me, Lola, baby.
Stupid fool, you almost got my little girl killed.
Oh, yeah? Well, sure, she almost got me caught. I get ready to throw my little present, And she lights up the whole alley and starts squawking her head off. You got a great little kid there, baby.
So you throw the grenade right at her feet almost. Why, you stupid. You could have gotten her killed.
Suppose you thought you could have done the job much better than I did, huh?
Begin to think so, yeah.
Yeah. You saved yourself $1,000 too, right?
I'll give you $200 in advance payment.
Oh, sure. But you promised. I went down to the bus depot just like we arranged, right? I opened the locker, number 323, just like we arranged. It was empty. No envelope with $1,000. You didn't mean to pay me, is that right?
I couldn't get it today, but I can, though. There's no problem.
Hmm?
There's no problem.
You were trying to run out of me. That's it, isn't it?
No, I can get you the money.
You didn't mean to pay me. Is that it, baby? That's it, wasn't it?
No, I can get you the money. Honest, There's no problem.
No, you're going to pay me now, baby.
No, please.
Or else I'm going to show you an example of what happens to you when you cross.
Don't. Please, I can get you the money.
You
I
don't
promise.
cross
There's no
over.
problem, Art. I can get you the money. There's no...
I got a search warrant and went to Harry Lorman's apartment. There was just a chance that I might find a few more of his interesting war souvenirs. It took me almost an hour to go through the accumulation of Harry's lifetime. But in the end, it was worth it.
Just got a report on that mud from Lorman's shoes.
And
Didn't check out.
I don't think we need it. After I show these to Lorman, I think he'll be willing to talk. These were found in your apartment, Lorman.
So what?
It's the same kind of grenade that killed Haskell.
Lieutenant, those grenades couldn't kill anybody. They're just souvenirs. I took all the powder out. They couldn't hurt anybody.
I know that. You mean they couldn't hurt anybody until you put the powder back in?
No.
Where'd you get these, Lorman?
Korea. I brought them home with me.
Don't you know it's illegal to have these things in your possession?
Sure, it was illegal in the first place, but everybody took something. Look, I got a battlefield citation because I knew how to use those grenades.
How many did you bring back? A dozen, half dozen?
No, only 4.
2 here, 1 for Haskell. Where's the other one?
I don't know. I haven't seen any of them since before I moved.
When was that?
About a month ago. Maybe Lola knows where it is. She helped me pack.
Lola?
Lola Haskell.
Thanks. Frank. Just brought Mrs. Haskell into the hospital. She's got some cracked ribs and a possible skull fracture.
Who did it?
I don't know. He grabbed me aside. I was walking through the door.
And what did he want?
My money, I guess.
Well, the officer who brought you down here said there were no signs of attempted robbery.
Well, I heard somebody coming and he ran away.
And why did he beat you?
I don't know.
Do you think there's any connection between the man who killed your ex-husband?
No, there's no connection.
Well, aren't you afraid that he might go after your daughter next?
You leave Bobby out of this. I can take care of her.
Like you took care of yourself, huh? Are you trying to protect somebody? Mrs. Haskell, have you ever had any trouble with the police before?
No, of course not.
You've never been arrested?
No. Look, Lieutenant, I've told you all I know. Now, will you please go? Just go away and leave me alone. I'm sick. And I'm tired.
Thank you. Despite Lola Haskell's obvious concern for her daughter's safety, I was certain she was concealing something. I requested a fast check on her by R&I. They did have a slim file on Lola, just 2 items in it. The first one said she had been arrested for assault 5 years before when she had attacked a neighbor who, she claimed, had abused her child. The judge had placed her on 3 months probation.
When she had won arrest, she was mixed up in a hit and run.
When was that?
3 months ago.
She was a passenger in a car driven by Arthur Cooley. Hit a delivery truck, stopped for a traffic light. No injuries. Hey, listen to this. The truck driver heard her repeatedly urge Cooley to leave the scene of the accident.
I wonder why she was so anxious to get away.
Maybe she didn't want anybody to know who she was with.
Wonder what we got on this Arthur Cooley.
Take a look, huh? We had plenty in the files on Cooley. 4 arrests. Twice for assault with a deadly weapon, twice for armed robbery. His last legitimate job was as a janitor at the Exeter Theater, the same theater where Lola Haskell worked. I drove over to Cooley's address, a rundown apartment on the far south side. But the manager of the apartment house told me Cooley had driven away about 9 that evening and hadn't returned yet. He let me into Cooley's apartment. I searched it but found nothing. His 1 pair of work shoes had no signs of mud on them. I waited in the alley near the garage assigned to Cooley. After about 40 minutes, a car pulled in. Arthur Cooley?
Yeah, who wants to know?
Lieutenant Ballinger, Police Department. I've got one of these with me, so don't get cute.
What do you want from me? I haven't done anything.
Oh, I just moved down there and face the wall there.
Ah, come on, Lieutenant.
Turn around
You
and
must be
face the
kidding.
wall. Do as I say. Put your hands against the wall. Higher. Move your feet out towards me. Further.
Boy, I feel like I'm in the next county.
Do you happen to know Lola Haskell?
Who's she?
The relief cashier at the Exeter Theater where you used to work.
Oh, you see, Lieutenant, lots of people work there.
Well, then you claim that you don't know her.
That's right.
All right, let me refresh your memory. You and she were picked up and arrested on May 27th when she talked you into a hit-run violation. How come?
Ah, you see, Lieutenant, she was afraid her boyfriend would find out she was out with...
Oh, but he wouldn't find out that she was convicted as an accessory to a felony, huh?
That's right.
Come on, Cooley, you can do better than that.
No, that's true.
Where were you tonight between 10 and 12?
I was out driving.
How long?
Mm-hmm.
Can you prove it?
Well, can you prove I wasn't?
I can try. Turn around.
What, again?
Turn around, yeah. Now lift up your left foot. Lift your left foot up. Higher. All right, now your other foot.
You know, Lieutenant, I feel like I'm a horse being shoed.
All right, you can put it down now.
Satisfied? Huh?
You wouldn't happen to have another pair of work shoes besides those in your room, would you? Or would you already get rid of them?
No. Now, what do you want, Lieutenant?
How about in the car?
Be my guest.
How about in the trunk?
Ah, come on.
Come on, open it up. All right, pull all that junk out of there. Come on, pull it out.
Tools. 3 flares. Pair of coveralls. Black paint. Rope.
All right, shake out the coveralls. Shake them out. What's the matter, Cooley? What are you so nervous about? It's only a funnel. What's this black stuff in it? Smells like gunpowder. You didn't use this to load that grenade, did you? Hold it, Cooley! Hold it right there, Cooley.
No? Oh, you hold it. Take one step and I'll lob this right in your lap.
That grenade's got a 5.5 to 7 second timer, Cooley. That's a long time. If you pull the pin, I can cut you in half before it goes off.
Where? What about me pitching in those apartments? You'll have chop suey for tenants.
Don't you try it.
Oh, yeah?
Somebody call an ambulance, quick!
He told us the whole story just before he died, Mrs. Haskell. You got the grenades from Lorman and gave them to Cooley. You gave him a down payment of $200 and you would give him another $1,000 after he did the job.
It was for Barbie. I was only taking care of my daughter.
So you had her father killed, huh?
He was going to steal her from me. He was going to take her to the coast. I'd never see her again.
How do you know he was?
Told me so.
So you had him killed.
You don't have any children, do you, Lieutenant?
No, I don't.
Then you wouldn't understand. But Barbie's all I had. And he was going to take her away from me. You understand, don't you, Captain?
Lola Haskell was tried and found not guilty by reason of insanity. She is now confined to a Chicago hospital for the mentally ill.